So it's 5 years since the death of butcher Stuart Lubbock, whose body was found in a swimming pool at the home of entertainer Michael Barrymore. Now, as police say they're reviewing his death, his family say they haven't given up hope of finding out what happened to him on the night that he died.
Also, actress Hannah Waterman is in, very evidently in. She's been out last night.
She had a very good night.
I know, yeah. We'll tell us all about that later on. But she's also going to tell us what it's like to start opposite her dad, Dennis. They've finally done it.
After all this time, yeah. So we'll be chatting to her in a little bit. And also the new technology that's landing drivers in deep water. Rachel Harrison is investigating. Morning, Rachel.
Yes, good morning, Ben. Well, I may be in a place called Luckington, but there's nothing lucky about it for some very foolish drivers. We've all heard the controversy about big lorries being rerouted by sat navigation systems through small country villages, but you'd think that not many people would actually try to drive through the River Avon, but that's exactly what some sat navigation drivers are doing, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about some of the deep water they've got into later on.
Fantastic. We've just got a sat-nav for our new car.
Oh, you
haven't? I can't for the life of me work out how to use it. And the stupid woman won't shut up as well.
What, Annie, you mean? Or...
She heard that. She'll be up this morning, won't she?
I've really got off you now.
No.
Why?
You see, having one, brilliant. I think they're fantastic.
Why?
But because it's interesting to have them, and I think it saves me having to look up on a map.
Well, what's wrong with a map?
Well, because it's easier if you just put it in the machine and it tells where to go. But when you know where you're going and it tells you to go a different way, so yeah, all right, cheers, thanks, Doug. And then she keeps shouting, no, turn right. Now do a U-turn. Go back, you're going the wrong way. You're going to die if you don't turn round.
You wouldn't have that if you had a map. You just argue with Annie.
Yeah, exactly.
And say,
just got the why.
Why can't you direct me properly? Right, Kate has got £10,000 to give away, and we've got loads of Corrie stars too, because they're preparing for an audience with Coronation Street at the weekend.
Yeah, right now it's just gone 7 o'clock. Here's Jackie with the news.
Thank you, Ben.
Good morning, the headlines today. The Home Secretary is to unveil a series of measures to protect the public from high-risk offenders out on probation. Oxfam is launching its biggest ever food crisis appeal to help drought-stricken areas of East Africa. And the oven gloves are off in the fight to save the traditional British cafe. Dangerous offenders released on probation are to face tougher supervision under new measures to be announced today by the Home Secretary, Charles Clarke. Denise Gravel reports.
The Home Secretary's Get Tough approach follows an increasingly long list of crimes committed by offenders while they were on probation. One of the most horrific was the murder of schoolgirl Mary-Ann Lenihan, who was raped and stabbed by a gang of men, 4 of whom, it turned out, were under probation supervision at the time of the killing. The Home Office was already under fire following the murder of wealthy London financier John Monckton at his luxury home. Damien Hanson, convicted along with drug dealer Elliot White, had only been let out of jail 3 months earlier after being released halfway through a 12-year sentence for attempted murder. It's expected supervision orders will be made tougher, with offenders limited as to how much alcohol they can drink, put under curfew and even banned from sports grounds. Opposition from human rights groups is expected, but breaching the new order could carry a maximum sentence of 5 years in jail.
Oxfam is launching its biggest ever food crisis appeal to help drought-stricken areas of East Africa. The charity hopes to raise £20 million to help millions of people at risk of starvation in countries like Somalia and Kenya. Well, Jonathan Swain is at Oxfam's Emergencies Warehouse in Oxfordshire. Good morning, Jonathan. So how does this appeal differ to others we've seen recently?
Jackie, that's what we all want to know, because this warehouse and these boxes of aid which are being packed behind me have become a familiar sight, unfortunately, over the last few years. Well, Oxfam are constantly sending out emergency aid to Africa, but this time they want to use this £20 million to provide a long-term solution, things like educating farmers, providing them with cattle and with seeds and also with water facilities. Now, you perhaps think that this is kind of things that should have been done already, but not in places like Somalia, where the recent drought there has meant that 70% of cattle have died. Now, this is food that people actually eat, so it's actually leaving thousands of people in East Africa starving. So what kind of things actually are in these wooden boxes behind me? Well, things like pipes to transfer water around drought-stricken areas, things like cooking equipment, and also, if we take a look in this box over here, we've also got intravenous drips to help malnourished children become nutritious. Well, it's a big ask, £20 million. We've had so many appeals in the past. We've had a huge response to the tsunami last year. We had Live 8, of course. It is a big ask. Will people be prepared to dig so deep in their pockets this time around, Jackie?
Good question, Jonathan. Thank you very much. Michael Barrymore has welcomed a decision by police to review the death of Stuart Lubbock. The 31-year-old's body was discovered in a swimming pool at the entertainer's home 5 years ago. Police say they may need to re-interview Mr Barrymore, who's due back in Britain next week. A strict all-day curfew has come into force in the capital of Nepal, Kathmandu. The authorities say anyone violating it will be shot on sight. It comes ahead of a major demonstration planned by the opposition. 10 people have already been killed at rallies in 2 weeks of protests calling for an end to the King's direct rule. Almost two-thirds of burglary victims are in their homes while the crime is taking place. Most are completely unaware they're being burgled, according to new research. The charity Victim Support says a quarter of us are burgled more than once. The most common items stolen are cash, chequebooks and credit cards. Now, the Royal Mail is having to cope with thousands of cards and gifts being sent to the Queen to mark her 80th birthday tomorrow. A royal walkabout in Windsor has been extended to cope with the expected huge numbers of well-wishers. Well, Sue Jameson is at a Royal Mail sorting office in South London. Good morning, Sue.
Yes, good morning. Everyone's getting very tired here, anyone connected with Buckingham Palace, that is, because this is just some of the mail that has been received. In fact, the load has gone up about 10 times this week alone, and they think today's going to be the bumper day, maybe 15 times more. Letters, parcels, not all wrapped like that, that's not recommended, coming here to the sorting office. And as you say, the walkabout's been extended because people are so interested in the Queen's birthday. She's actually going to be out for about 45 minutes in Windsor tomorrow. She was hoping to make it a little bit shorter, perhaps. There's a lovely new portrait of her by her former brother-in-law, Lord Snowdon. As you can see, it's a very relaxed portrait and it has that famous smile on it. And the smile is the theme as well of the new stamps that have been released by Royal Mail yesterday, in fact. So we can have a look at them. They've all got, again, the Queen smiling right the time from when she was a little girl. Now, we've taken one of those stamps, in fact, to put on the Gmtv card, which we had signed yesterday in Royal Leamington Spa. A lot of people have signed it. Now, we think, in fact, even with the stamp on, it's a little bit too big to go in a post box, so we're going to try and deliver it ourselves later today. Perhaps we'll let you know how we get on tomorrow.
Hope you've got a very large handbag to put that one in, Sue. The traditional British cafe is in danger of disappearing within 5 years, according to a new campaign. It claims continental-style coffee shops are pushing old-fashioned cafes out of the high street. Researchers found a third of people questioned knew of a cafe which was closing in their area. Finally, an unexpected pitch invader showed some nifty footwork during last night's Champions League match between Arsenal and Villarreal. It's 7 minutes past 7. I'll be back at past. Here's what's happening where you are.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News from ITV Granada. First, Michael Shields could find out today if his appeal against his conviction has been successful. He's currently serving 15 years in jail in Bulgaria for the attempted murder of a barman. Liz Fordham reports.
Michael Shields has always said he's innocent of attempted murder. That on the night the barman was injured, he was in bed at his hotel. This seemed to be backed up by a confession another man, Graham Sankey, made. But the Bulgarian courts wouldn't accept it, and he later withdrew it. A month ago, Michael appealed against his conviction, claiming the case hadn't been dealt with properly. He said eyewitnesses had been biased or ignored, and there were other discrepancies too.
I know like an identity parade is supposed to assemble, yeah, and these people never look like me. So, even then, I got a sick feeling, thinking something's not right.
The best outcome he can hope for from this appeal is a chance of a retrial. Today is the last day of the period judges said they'd take to consider their decision. By tonight, Michael and his family could have some hope that justice might be done.
Police are continuing the search for a mother from Greater Manchester who's been missing for over a week. Alison Davis was last seen last Wednesday with her 12-year-old son Ryan. His body was found in the River Humber on Sunday. It's feared he and his mother fell from the Humber Bridge. Police say hopes of finding Alison alive are extremely slim. There'll be traffic problems and disruption to the trains in Runcorn this morning after an explosion left a large hole in the road. The 20-foot by 3-foot hole on Whitchurch Way appeared after the blast on a railway bridge. It's believed to have been caused by gas or electricity from the railway. A decision could be made today on whether or not Liverpool will get its controversial fifth grace. The board of the North West Development Agency are meeting to decide whether they'll award the X-shaped museum a crucial £32 million grant. It comes 5 months after Tessa Jowell rejected the museum's bid for over £11 million to finance the interior of the building. In last night's football, just one result from the Premiership. Blackburn Rovers lost 2-1 at Birmingham, despite Robbie Savage scoring his first ever goal for the club. That's it for now. I'm back at 8:05. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Take a deep breath and shout down the weather.
A fairly misty start with largely cloudy skies, giving some patchy light rain and drizzle. This afternoon, again, mainly cloudy with more light rain, but there should be some brighter spells. It'll feel warm, highs of around 14 degrees.
Hello again, 7:10. The news this morning that detectives are to review the case involving the party thrown by Michael Barrymore and the death of 31-year-old Stuart Lubbock at that party. Nick Dixon is at the scene of the incident, Barrymore's former home in Roydon, Essex. Morning, Nick.
Morning, Fiona. Still very much a mystery, as you say, an unsolved mystery after 5 years, but police in Essex are hopeful that this review will finally let them piece together just what exactly happened here on that night 5 years ago. Just to recap, Stuart Lubbock's body was found in the swimming pool here at Michael Barrymore's former home in Essex. Medical experts found extensive internal damage to Stuart Lubbock's body. The inquest into his death recorded an open verdict, and to this day, no one has been charged in connection with his death. Now, 5 years on, police in Essex have decided to re-examine the investigation. A routine review, they say. There's no new evidence at this stage, but the inquiry is at a very early stage, and we could well see Michael Barrymore facing more questions from the police. Now, the Lubbock family clearly are very satisfied with this news from the police in Essex. I spoke to the Lubbock family last night, to Stuart's father, Terry, and he's hopeful that this will reignite the investigation.
People that were at that party may have remembered something small that happened, or maybe they know something big that happened, and maybe their conscience is pricking them a bit.
Terry Lubbock speaking there. As for Michael Barrymore, well, he's out of the country at the moment and has been for some time. He's based in New Zealand, but according to reports across the water, he's heading over to the UK in the next week or two. Now, he has made a statement from his via his publicist, and he said that he continues to support the Lubbock family and the investigation, and he'll do whatever he can to assist the police with their inquiry, Fiona.
All right, Nick, thanks very much indeed. And in an exclusive interview, which actually I did back in 2002 with Michael Barrymore, Nick said that Michael has said he'd always wanted to support the family and the police, and that's very much sort of what he had to say back in 2002.
I can't be any more sorry about what happened. I don't know how Stuart got into the pool, but I am not responsible for Stuart getting into the pool. And I'm not responsible for his death.
Michael Barrymore speaking, what, 4 years ago now. We're joined in the studio by the Lubbock family solicitor. His name's Tony Bennett. Morning to you, Tony.
Good morning.
How have the Lubbocks reacted to this, then?
I've spoken to Terry. He's delighted because any development which brings him nearer the truth is good for him. I've not spoken to the mother, Dorothy Hann, but I know that she feels the same. She just wants to know what happened, who did it, what they did.
Is that ever going to be possible, though, Tony? I mean, this is 5 years on now. There have been several investigations into investigations, and nothing's been found. How realistic is it that you will get answers?
I think it's fair to say that there's no new evidence that I'm aware of, and the police do carry out these reviews from time to time. However, I have learnt that the police are putting several officers onto this and do propose to re-interview some people. And also,
is that
of course,
significant?
Well, there is a parallel investigation also going on because one of the female witnesses at the party is being investigated for perjury at the moment, has been since February, and it is conceivable that she may have additional information to give to the police. At the end of the day, There are 8 people at that party. There was a violent assault on Stuart. Somebody did it. Other people may know, and I think if we keep pressing on, keep digging, as it were, something will come out in the end. I'm sure about that.
Do you think the fact that, I mean, certainly the media has very much focused on the fact that it was Michael Barrymore's house. Do you think the fact that Michael Barrymore was involved has clouded the investigation in some way?
Not particularly.
It's very much focused on him, though, hasn't it?
Well, he's been in the headlines, but of course he was not one of the 2 men arrested on suspicion of murder. And they are still, of course, very much in the frame. And I think really we in the Lubbock Trust want to focus, in fact, on the other 8 guests and what they have said. And hopefully one of them, somewhere along the line, will tell us what really happened.
As I say, Tony, this is 5 years on now. Essex Police have handled the case. Are you happy with the way they've worked?
Well, there is an argument for another police force to be called in to look at this case. There were several mistakes which the police have conceded in the original investigation. There was no sealing of it as a crime scene until 2 weeks after the event. There were certainly some flaws in the pathology investigation by Dr. Heath. Nevertheless, the police are doing this review. They put several officers on the case, and I think probably we want to leave it to them and try and assist them in any way we can.
All right, Tony, well, it's interesting to hear what you have to say. Thanks very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Time is 7:15, the main headlines you're waking up to this morning. The Home Secretary, Charles Clarke, is to unveil a series of measures to protect the public from high-risk offenders out on probation. Oxfam is launching its biggest ever food crisis appeal to raise £20 million to help drought-stricken areas of East Africa. And today's weather, most places will be rather cloudy with some showery outbreaks of rain. South East England will see the best of the weather with some good spells of sunshine. Top temperatures around 15 Celsius, which is 59 degrees Fahrenheit.
Nice.
Competition time now for you. Your chance to win £10,000 before the end of the show. Keith is taking his Easter raid show along the south coast all of this week, causing havoc as ever. Morning, Keith.
Morning, Ben. I'm sure you said Easter raid show. A very good morning to you. Welcome to Torbay! And can I just say, what a fantastic view of Torquay. Look at that, for a wonderful vista here at Beverley Holidays. Hey, they're on holiday, but we thought we'd dish the dirt. Yes, dish the dirt on a family friend, or even tell me about yourself. Look at this. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris, you've got a band called Jubilee, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here they are. Tell the nation what you do as a band.
Well, we travel extensively throughout, and we book rooms to stay in.
Books rooms in hotels?
Yes. As a family, we have to sneak in, and I have to sleep with him.
Yeah. Basically, they pretend they're 2 adults and 2 kids. Liars. Look at this guy over here. What's your name?
Ian.
Ian, nice to see you. Go on, dish the dirt on your missus, isn't it?
My wife Sarah here.
Go on. She doesn't know, but what does she do?
She's an excellent driver. She smashed up 4 new cars in 3 years.
Fantastic. All right, games and competitions for this lot. Yes, off the telly, but right now, competition for you. It's £10,000. You might want to go away on holiday. You might have credit card bills and more. Go on, you've got the question.
Which actor wrote and starred in Fawlty Towers? Was it A, Bob Monkhouse, B, John Cleese, or C, Michael Barrymore?
OK, there's the question for you. Which actor wrote and starred in Fawlty Towers? A, Bob Monkhouse, B, John Cleese, or C, Michael Barrymore? Oh, it's up to you. Here come the important details of how to take part.
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
Craig, how much time have they got left?
1 hour and 42 minutes.
Lovely. Remember the number, which is 09068 100 100. And lines close at 9 o'clock. They're very well routine. See you later. Well done.
He's trained them well, hasn't he?
Like a proud father.
Bless him. Right, talking of fathers, Hannah Waterman is finally acting with her. So Hannah and Dennis finally get together in New Tricks, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But she's also starring in The Bill. That's the clip you can see there. Plus, she was out last night. So let's hope what she has got to say makes sense.
She was on great form when we saw her this morning. Before that, though, if you're wondering how a daily diet really affects your mental health, well, Dr. Hilary Jones, Amanda Russell and Patrick Holford are here with the truth about superfoods.
when we talk about superfoods.
We mean particular foods that are full of nutrients.
And packed with minerals. But can what you eat actually lift your mood?
Well, studies have actually shown that a high intake of omega-3 can actually make you less aggressive and give your mood a boost. So eat oily fish twice a week.
Plus 0.5 grams a day in omega-3 rich seeds, like flax and hemp.
High energy levels are vital for keeping your spirits up, and to carry oxygen around your body, you need loads of iron.
But nearly half of the women in the UK aren't getting enough of it. And contrary to the bad press red meat gets, lean red meat can contain less fat than chicken, and it has iron, which can boost your mood.
Folic acid-rich foods also boost your mood, so eat nuts and seeds, oranges, lentils, beans and greens.
Grab the day! Muller Vitality now with omega-3 sponsors superfoods.
Something's happened to No More Nails. It's now on a roll. New No More Nails on a roll. The easy instant grab tape.
At Homebase, you can afford to update your home with 10% off many items in our furniture range. Relax in style with 10% off this Kensington 3-seater leather sofa, now under £700. And sleep in elegance on this shaker-style Montreal bed frame, which is now under £180. Homebase. Make a house a home.
If there's one thing dogs dislike, cannot abide, loathe, it's having their teeth cleaned. But chewing pedigree Dentasticks every day can help prevent gum disease without any unpleasantries.
Want to find the gas and electricity service that's right for you? There are so many tariffs to choose from, and by switching you could save up to £170 a year. You could spend ages ringing all the different companies, or simply log on to uswitch.com. Uswitch is a free and impartial service that compares all the available tariffs. Just tell us how much energy you use, and Uswitch will show you all the options, and then you decide whether to switch. So, to save money on your gas and electricity bills, log on to uswitch.com now. Uswitch.com, helping you decide.
We all love clover. There's one thing we've learned. We all love clover. It's the way that it's churned.
Simple understands that sensitive skin can easily be upset.
Honey, please don't cry. Don't cry, baby.
Simple cleansing wipes are 100% perfume and color-free. Yet they can remove even waterproof mascara.
Let's be sweethearts again.
The secret to great cleansing is simple.
If a black man is racist, is it okay? If it's a white man's racism, that made him that way. 'Cause the line between wrong and right is the width of a thread from a spider's web.
Spider's Web, the new single from Katie Mellower.
He's got a verruca.
Try this.
New Scholl Freeze is the quick and easy way to treat verrucas and warts at home. It's clinically proven to be as effective as the freezing method used by professionals. New Scholl Freeze. There's no more effective way to remove verrucas and warts. Scholl.
Ice Age 2 The Meltdown, the video game from the 20th Century Fox film. Manny, Sid, Scrat, and Diego are saving the herd from a major meltdown. Available now.
Something's happened to No More Nails. It just got stronger. New No More Nails Ultra, the ultra-strong instant grab adhesive.
Dear Queen, happy birthday to me. Oh. Oh. Don't miss all the celebrations for one's birthday, only on This Morning.
Now then, we last saw our next guest playing a downtrodden Ian Beale's wife before she met her death in EastEnders. Since then, Hannah Wharton's been busy treading the boards on the stage and is about to return to our screens in not one but two police dramas. And it's been quite a drama for you this morning as well, Hannah. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys.
Yeah, you had a good night last night, though.
I did, and thank you, Letitia Dean.
Oh, is that who you were
name
out
and
with?
shame her.
She's the culprit.
Yes,
I didn't think Sharon did things like that.
She's not like our character.
Look, as I said, we haven't seen you for quite a while, not since you fell down the stairs.
Unless you came to the West End.
But until we saw you in the West End, but you've been very busy there. But suddenly you come back and you're finally going to be in New Tricks with your dad.
Yeah, I've worked with Dad, and the bill is a bit more like Laura, you know, sort of downbeaten, sort of undertrodden wife or whatever they say.
Yeah.
And I'm a DI in New Tricks, which I love. Like, I'm a copper.
And you actually got responsibility, walk in there, and don't you play your dad's long-lost daughter?
Well, you know, there's a bit of a twist, so we'll see what happens there.
What was it like working with him? It must have been so bizarre.
It was great. It was really great. It was really an amazing experience and something to kind of tell my kids about eventually, you know.
Did you find you could concentrate? Because I imagine that you sort of were just being hysterics all the time.
No, actually, sorry, I'm kind of diverting back to the bill. That was the worst thing about giggling, was playing these awful traumatic scenes and having these naughty little actors all around me crying my heart out, and then they'd sort of suddenly burst into laughter.
Didn't it help?
Yeah. No, it didn't help really. Yeah, Simon as well. He plays Jack Meadows.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful giggler. Like, completely unlike his character. Unbelievable.
See, often it's the way, though, isn't it? It's the dark, sheer face, and behind it it's the naughty, scheming little schoolboy that's waiting to get out.
Absolutely.
Well, let's have a quick look at a clip of the bill, and then we can have a chat about that.
Cool.
Who knows what goes on in their heads?
There might be a way that we can find out. Last week, when I was cleaning under Charlotte's bed, I found a diary.
What diary?
One your sister got her for Christmas. It was in a set. There was an address book, writing paper. I never even considered that she'd use it.
What's in it?
I wouldn't dream of looking, Tom. It's got a lock on it anyway.
So just explain the story, because it's, I mean, compared to the story in New Tricks, it's a very full-on storyline, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it starts off, the first episode, which is tonight, starts with my two kids going missing, and it kind of spirals from there, and I've done 4 episodes in all. And it just gets darker and darker and darker, and there's lots of twists and turns along the way. I think what the bill does brilliantly is they link up their stories, so that it kind of refers to the Amy Tennant case, which is a long-running story that they have at the beginning, and then lots of reveals kind of come throughout the 4 episodes. So I was really kind of called upon to sort of dig deep and stuff. And as you can see, I only do glamour. Yes.
Another downtrodden wife.
Yeah, well, you know, lots of makeup. I spent 45 minutes in makeup where they're putting, like, red eyes and everything.
Trying to make you look... And Rocky Marshall plays your husband, who everyone would recognise from Holby City.
Yeah, he was a heart surgeon, apparently.
Yes, he was back then, yes.
Yes, so, but he's brilliant. He's brilliant in it. And he plays a very dark character, and he was just so subtle about it all. And Chris Simmons as well, he plays Mickey Webb in it, and I had a lot of stuff with him. I was very well supported by my lovely actors, and all the guys at the bill were great to me, so I loved it. I had a great time.
Will you sit down and watch tonight?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm kind of nervous about it, you know, the first one. And it's kind of been, you know, 2 years since I've seen my work on telly, so... I've loved my theatre jobs, but it's sort of watching yourself again is a bit weird.
Yeah. And, of course, I mean, you sort of mentioned that you don't play particularly glamorous characters, but this summer's set for the big glamorous do in the Waterman household because it's your wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's it all the preparations going? Are you on time? Are you on form?
I have no idea. Ricky's organising the whole thing, but
I mean, bless him, Ricky. He's going to give us a bad name. What on earth is he doing organising the wedding?
Well, he's really good at that sort of stuff.
And just how bad are you, Hannah?
Very, yeah. I'm completely disorganised. So.
Have you got your dress sorted?
Yeah, I've got all that stuff sorted.
Yeah. So you're all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine. I've got the key colours and all of that important stuff and flowers and everything.
And you remember the time and the day and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, well, I'll ask.
And will Ernie the Terrier be guest of honour?
No, because he's absolutely disruptive and horrible. So, yeah, he's a terrorist, we call him.
Not an honorary best man or anything?
No, oh, gosh, no.
Excellent. Well, look, I'm very much looking forward to seeing the bill tonight. And New Tricks when you appear with your dad as well.
Yeah. I'm a bit more glam in that, actually.
Bit more glam in that one.
I get lipstick and stuff. Yeah.
It's lovely to see you, Hannah.
Thanks
for
you.
coming. And best of luck. We don't see you before with the wedding as well.
Thank you.
It's always nice to see you. You should have seen her in makeup. Some of the secrets we could tell you. But we won't.
No.
Let's have the weather instead. Here's Andrea.
so for the north of England and North Wales, we'll have...
GMTV weather, sponsored by Nestle Cereals. Whole grain for the whole family every morning.
Hello there, good morning. It's a fairly cloudy start weather-wise across the country today. What it's not necessarily picking up, the overnight satellite picture, is just how misty and murky it is. We've got a fair amount of mist across the southwest, across parts of the Midlands, and we're picking up a fair amount as well in around Lincolnshire, Yorkshire, that sort of area. So you may well need to leave a bit of extra time if you're heading out on the roads this morning. Now, things starting off fairly dry and bright, quite crisp and cold across the far north of Scotland. Might be a bit cloudy at the moment in the far south and east, but I think eventually we'll see some sunshine working its way in. Similar story too for the Channel Islands. Taking a look then for this afternoon across Scotland. As I say, starting off with a touch of frost across the far north of Scotland. Things clouding over, I think, as we go into the afternoon. We'll see rain moving up from the southwest. Temperatures only up to around 8 or 9 degrees. Northern Ireland and the Borders region, well, a mixture of sunshine and showers for you. Not as good a day for the Isle of Man today as you saw yesterday. As you can see, as we move away further south across Wales, the Midlands, into East Anglia, there's that grey cloud that I showed you on the satellite picture. Not that much in the way of rain. It's mainly going to be quite drizzly stuff. Could well see the sunshine hanging on for the far south and east. Southampton, you can see just behind me there, fairly cloudy picture for this afternoon. In fact, before I walk across, you can see some rain for the Isles of Scilly. That'll be nudging in towards western parts of Cornwall as we go through the afternoon. Generally speaking, the southwest into South Wales. Again, a fair amount of cloud around. Patchy rain and drizzle, highs of around 12 or 13. Now, for Friday, slightly better picture. Not doing too badly for Northern Ireland, Western Scotland, the far south and east. Elsewhere, it's a mixture of sunshine and showers. For the weekend, well, not doing too badly, I don't think, on Saturday. Later on, we will see some rain and increasingly strong winds pushing in across Northern Ireland, Western Scotland. That'll just peg the temperatures back. But look how mild it's going to be Saturday in that sunshine, highs of 17 degrees. And then on Sunday, we will see that area of rain starting to nudge its way ever southwards, so brightening up for Scotland. Hopefully, we're not too sure how far south this area of rain is going to come, but hopefully it should pretty much stay dry across the south and east. And as you can see, very mild, very muggy for the marathon, highs of around 18 degrees. Here's your summary.
For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, gm.tv, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Muggy for the marathon. Andrew Castle is going to sweat his pants off.
You look surprised and delighted about that.
I am.
Good luck to anybody that's doing the marathon on Sunday. We're going to get the news now. Here's Jackie.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning. Dangerous offenders released on probation are to face tougher supervision under new measures to be announced today by the Home Secretary, Charles Clarke. Denise Gravel reports.
The Home Secretary's Get Tough approach follows an increasingly long list of crimes committed by offenders while they were on probation. One of the most horrific was the murder of schoolgirl Mary-Ann Lenihan, who was raped and stabbed by a gang of men, 4 of whom, it turned out, were under probation supervision at the time of the killing. The Home Office was already under fire following the murder of wealthy London financier John Monckton at his luxury home. Damien Hanson, convicted along with drug dealer Elliot White, had only been let out of jail 3 months earlier after being released halfway through a 12-year sentence for attempted murder. It's expected supervision orders will be made tougher, with offenders limited as to how much alcohol they can drink, put under curfew and even banned from sports grounds. Opposition from human rights groups is expected, but breaching the new order could carry a maximum sentence of 5 years in jail.
Oxfam has launched its biggest ever food crisis appeal to help drought-stricken areas of East Africa. The charity hopes to raise £20 million to help millions of people at risk of starvation in countries like Somalia and Kenya. It says there are already reports of people dying because of a shortage of food, and recent rain has increased the risk of disease. A teenage Liverpool football fan serving a 15-year sentence in Bulgaria for attempted murder will discover today if he's to have a retrial. Michael Shields was on holiday after watching Liverpool win the Champions League final in Turkey. He was convicted of attacking a waiter, but maintained he was asleep at the time of the assault. Michael Barrymore has welcomed a decision by police to review the death of Stuart Lubbock. The 31-year-old's body was discovered in a swimming pool at the entertainer's home 5 years ago. Police say they may need to re-interview Mr Barrymore, who's due back in Britain next week. Drunken stag and hen parties who get themselves into trouble abroad should have to pay for help from British diplomats. Consular staff already have the power to make people pay for their services, but it's rarely enforced. The Commons Public Accounts Committee says the number of boozy pre-wedding parties overseas has risen by 70%. It wants more revellers to be made to pay for any help they get. Finally, an unexpected pitch invader showed some nifty footwork during last night's Champions League match between It's 7:34. I'll be back at 8. Back now to Fiona and Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.
Oh, right, Saturday night, an audience with Coronation Street. Talking as they've never talked before. I'd love to know who's in the audience, actually. That's the fun of those programmes, isn't it?
We might get an idea right now, though. Richard Arnold was given exclusive access behind the scenes with all those Corrie stars that they prepared for that audience with. And, of course, he was joining them in singing and dancing, although I think, actually, what he really wants is an audience of his own, doesn't he?
Oh, bless him. He's not even on this show at the moment.
Finally, the powers that be at ITV are recognised by huge talent and potential. Tonight, for one night only, it's time for a celebrity audience with television's Richard Arnold.
Excuse me, could you keep the noise down a bit? We're rehearsing in here.
Sorry, Beverly. Ladies, it's only me, TV's Richard Arnold, still a battered brown as I live and breathe. Thank goodness you're not in a state of undress. Wendy Peters and the lovely girl here. Backstage at Telly Towers for an audience with Coronation Street. What a frocky horror that is. Do you think you can get away with it?
Possibly. They're all a bit blingy, aren't they?
They're all a bit blingy.
But it's one of those occasions, isn't it? Heading across the river, wash your sins away in the tide.
We saw you arrive in style, soap star superstar victorious. Can I let you into a secret?
Go on.
I've been backstage. It's a shambles, run like the wind.
I'm telling you now, that's how it always is.
You're
We'll pull it out. Don't worry, we'll pull it out.
The only one with an ounce of talent. You could be the new Robbie. Leave now, save yourself. It's great to see you, chaps. An audience with Coronation Street at last. What can we expect?
I don't know. Bad singing, bad jokes, and lots of hangovers.
So it's variety.
There's a variety of everything for everybody.
Something for everyone. A lid for every pot, as my nan might say.
We've got lots of variety. Loads of people are sort of showing talents that you didn't know they had, which is good. We are showing talents that you knew we hadn't got.
Can any of you hold a note?
No.
No. You're doing a duet, is that right?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Do you think once it's gone out in front of millions of people, you'll be busking on the streets of Manchester?
Yeah, because I'll be sad, probably. We're out on the street.
So when I say busking, how much notice did you actually get?
About 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks with your day job and everything else that's sort of still going on. It's not like 2 weeks.
Break a leg. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolute car crash TV. We'll leave them to it.
Well, you'll find out because it's on Saturday. I'm sure it won't be car crash. Really talented bunch, aren't they?
Yeah, most of them. Richard Fleeshman, Andy Wyman particularly, who are coming in on tomorrow's show.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm on tomorrow.
Now then, when we come back, SplatNav, new technology which is sending drivers into deep water. Rachel Harrison has more.
Yes, good morning, Ben. Well, don't be deceived by the name of the place I'm standing today, because there's nothing lucky about this place for some very foolish drivers, because they've been following their sat navigation systems and they've actually been driving into the River Avon. Join me in a couple of minutes and I'll tell you more.
This is just one of many half-price offers in the Harvey Spring Sale. I'm comfortable with that.
Offers now extended.
There's a good reason why the best-selling treatment for warts and verrucas is clinically proven Bazooka Gel. Bazooka simply and safely eliminates warts and verrucas and dries to form a water-resistant protective barrier. No mess, no fuss, no plasters. So, for a painless answer to warts and verrucas, ask your pharmacist for the #1 selling Bazooka Gel. and Bazooka That Veruca.
The best way to say goodbye to weight you don't want is with a calorie-controlled diet.
Adios.
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 But there's a natural herbal remedy that's been traditionally used to help. Try Adios for yourself. What have you got to lose?
Your winner, Shane Ward. The debut album includes the singles That's My Goal, No Promises, and an exclusive version of Over the Rainbow. Out now.
Research shows if you swap your indulgent snacks for a Special K bar and have Special K for breakfast, you could lose up to an inch from your waist, bust, and hips. The 90-calorie bar from Special K. See you by the pool.
Life isn't always perfect.
But I've got the hair color part of it worked out.
Nice and easy with new Colour Seal Gloss Conditioner helps seal in colour for up to 6 whole weeks, keeping it shiny and radiant longer. So even when life isn't going your way, your hair colour stays looking wonderful. Nice and easy from Clairol Colour Wonderful.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around, I get around, round, round, I get around, 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 I get around.
New Persil gel tablets have built-in pre-treating agents to tackle even the toughest stains. Persil. Brilliant results first time.
Welcome to the world of entertainment. Still at the sharp end of his career, it's sexy Yorkshireman Sean Bean. Who would you choose, Ian Beale or Grant Mitchell? Laurie Brett on the Squares Love Triangle. And Corrie Street stars Kurt and Craig on the glitz and glamour of their big night out. Entertainment Today, tomorrow on Gmtv.
Hi there. Now, a story of slavish devotion to new technology that's landing drivers in deep water. Rachel Harrison is in the Wiltshire village of Luckington that's well and truly on the map. Good morning, Rachel.
Yes, good morning, Ben. Well, we've all been hearing about big lorries being rerouted through very small country villages thanks to their sat navigation systems. But you wouldn't think that very many people would attempt to drive through the River Avon, but that's exactly what's happened to more than a dozen drivers in the last 2 weeks, and they got stuck.
It's a marvellous thing, modern technology. Even when a road is closed, SatNav finds you an alternative route. Unfortunately, this one goes straight through a river.
It doesn't have brains in the way that we have brains, so it doesn't logically think it's been raining and therefore, you know, it's flooded. So there's a good argument for 4x4s.
Over the last month, dozens of drivers passing through the village of Luckington have put their faith in technology and become well and truly stuck. At least there's still one form of horsepower that manages very well without a computer.
Now, I'm going to come to the defence of some of those drivers because there's a very good reason why. Behind me is a dirt track, and when you actually get to the dirt track and you see the ford, you'll see this lovely water gauge here, and the water gauge actually says that it's less than 1 foot deep. However, this has been put in the shallowest part of the ford, and if I walk forward a little further, you'll see why, because as I walk further, it gets deeper, which means it's above the level of the tyres. Not only that, the stones that start at the start of the ford actually disappear, and now all we've got is silt. Now, we've had a dozen drivers that have got stuck. The local farmer's been helping them out with their tractor for £25, small cost for the price of it. And also, the other person that's been helping out is Leslie Bennett. Thank you for joining me this morning. I understand you've been putting your tumble dryer to very good use.
Well, when you see people soaking wet, having tried to get out of the ford, you have to feel sorry for them, and so we've been trying to help.
But it's got you into a spot of bother with your husband, I hear.
Well, it was a little awkward when he came home one day and found a strange man's trousers in the dryer. But when I explained, this poor young lad, he was a lovely young lad, was sitting in his truck looking so glum and disconsolate, just sitting in his boxers. He'd tried to get out, he'd got completely wet, didn't know what to do. So there is my husband. So I took his trousers and put them in the dryer and helped him out, and he was very understanding, my husband.
Now, you've lived by the Ford now for 9 years. How many drivers have got stuck in 9 years?
Oh, I'd say, a couple of dozen. That I know of. I mean, you don't always know them. Some of them quietly get themselves extricated without needing help.
And you've had the same amount in the space of pretty much 2 weeks.
Well, that's right. They shut the road up in nearby Sherston, and that means that cars then are free-form. They don't go along the regular road, and their sat-nav or whatever says, oh, why don't you take this handy little side road? So they do, and they end up here, and they get stuck.
Locals wouldn't do it, but clearly people who don't know the area are giving it a go.
That's exactly right. And what you said about the sign is right, because the sign has been put in the shallowest part, so they have no hope of getting through an ordinary car now, and they have to go through the deepest part of the Ford behind you, and that's it.
Oh, well, I'm sure that I'm grateful for the cups of tea and coffee that you've been giving as well. You've given us a cup of tea and coffee this morning. I can tell you, if you are actually stuck in the Ford and your sat navigation system says, turn around when possible, you'll know how frustrating it may be.
Fantastic. She should get a Public Community Service Award.
She should.
Drying wet trousers.
She should start charging for it, and she get a business award as well.
Oh, apparently there's a car about to go through.
Oh.
Well, I hope... Rachel, get over there and stop him.
I don't know whether I should go and do my duty about telling him.
I think throw yourself
I don't think
in
you
the
should
way.
come this way.
He's not going to do it.
Oh,
Is he going to do it?
No,
he's not. Cameras, that's
see.
why. If the cameras weren't there, he'd have splashed right in. Oh no, it's that Rachel Harrison.
I should ask him if he's... I should ask him if he's got a sat navigation system. I'm guessing he has.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, Rachel, keep an eye on the rest of that for the morning down there. You never know anything. Other cars get stuck in the middle of the Ford. Can you imagine how frustrating it would be?
Yes, I can, but I find those sat-navs even more
No, look here.
frustrating.
Richard Nunn says, useful as a co-pilot and generally better than reading or trying to read a map across a steering wheel. You see?
But if you're just in, like, if you're in London and you get in a mini cab and your heart sinks when they go, where are you going, love? And you tell them, and then they go, how do you spell that? And they spend ages putting it in the sat nav, and then it takes you the most direct route, which is always the busiest route.
As Richard said, it's useful as a co-pilot. What about common sense? Dave says as well. Common sense is important too. Doesn't have
Well, if
to
you
be
had
bad.
common sense, you wouldn't need a sat-nav in the first place. Right, common sense you'll need if you want to enter the competition. We're giving you a chance to win £10,000. Keith is on the road again. Where is he today? Where?
Hey, I'm in Torquay! Hey, and I'll tell you what, the weather's taken out. I can't tell you, it's fantastic. The sun's come out, I've got my glasses on, I'm getting a sweat on here, but welcome back to Torquay! Yes! Look at them, they're all here. Patent Torbay, come over here. It is so hot this morning, I can't tell you. Look at this. They're all diving in the pool here this morning. They take their clothes off just to cool off. Hey, do you know what? They might have sat-nav in London there, but Gmtv have given me something very special to go on the road, to take me up and down the country, and that is sat-nav. Look, I've got my map here, and this is what she says to me while we're on the road, don't you? Go on.
Yeah,
lovely.
turn left.
I'm going left.
Left, straight on now.
I'm going straight on.
No, right.
Oh, she's a pain.
No, what's
lovely.
the timing?
All right, lovely. Dear me. OK, because it's sat-nav time, we thought we'd play the mileage game. How many miles did I travel from Exmouth to Torquay? Go on, go for it. 45, no. Not 32. How many? 40. 23, got it right. OK, can you get our question right for £10,000? Here comes the question for you at home. Go for it.
Which actor wrote and starred in Fawlty Towers? Was it A, Bob Monkhouse, B, John Cleese, or C, Michael Barrymore?
OK, that is the question. I'll do it for you again. Which actor wrote and starred in Fawlty Towers? A, Bob Monkhouse, B, John Cleese, or C, Michael Barrymore? This is how you enter.
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B, or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
Hey! See you later. All right.
See you later.
You don't need the sunshine when Cheggers is there, do you, for heaven's sake? Who needs
a little
decent
tonic
weather?
on 2 legs.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back. GMTV Today. Polly Hudson's here with her pick of tonight's telly, including Tamsin Outhwaite's new drama series, Vital Signs.
cooking, Lammy?
Quality lamb, Beefy, with a quality standard mark.
Well, my beef's quality standard too.
And now, cricket from Lords. Loosen up, Beefy. Get with the rhythm.
What the hell do you think you're doing, Lammy?
Well, I say, beef, lamb, and once again those absolutely splendid quality standard marks. Tremendous.
Choice on toast. Macaroni choice. Choice and pickle. Cauliflower choice. Pilgrim's choice. When you're choosing cheddar, make it Pilgrim's choice.
The best way to say goodbye to weight you don't want is with a calorie-controlled diet.
Adios.
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 But there's a natural herbal remedy that's been traditionally used to help. Try Adios for yourself. What have you got to lose?
Flora Proactive is touring the country, testing the nation's hearts. Come along and find out what your blood pressure and cholesterol levels are for free. What shapes your heart in? Visit floraproactive.co.uk.
Michael Flatley is back. The brand new dance spectacular that's taking the world by storm. Celtic Tiger on DVD now.
Norman's here to test the new TCP spray plaster. OK, Norman, let's spray it on that cut and stop that bleeding. Keeps the dirt out. And it's waterproof. TCP spray plaster stands up to most things, unlike Norman. If you want it covered, TCP it.
This weekend, start your Love Shakespeare collection in the Telegraph with 2 free DVDs. Get Macbeth on Saturday and King Lear on Sunday. It's for everyone who loves Shakespeare.
Joanna.
Listen to Peter Grant.
I can't forget the one they call
The stunning new voice you won't believe.
In the cool of the evening when everything.
A new collection of vintage songs.
You ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come. And
Peter Grant, new vintage, out now.
The new Special K personal trainer watch allows you to track the calories you burn. So you'll have a better idea of which physical activities are most effective at burning calories. Send off for your Special K personal trainer watch now. See you by the pool.
He made the mission impossible, fought the War of the Worlds, and walks around with his eyes wide shut. He's a young gun Top Gun and will make you a mean cocktail if you show him the colour of your money. You guessed it, Tom Cruise talks of his latest mission in a UK exclusive. Monday on Gmtv.
TV Pick of the Day is sponsored by Lotus Thirst Pockets with technology.
Polly's going to be so pleased that Ben's here. He's a bit more reconstructed than that other bloke we have in here sometimes.
I don't even recall another bloke.
No.
For me, it's just been you.
We
all
had to
week.
ignore him because of some particularly sexist
That's
remarks he was
showbiz.
making.
You would never do that, would you?
Would I?
Never.
Never.
No, you wouldn't. Right, it's a good night tonight.
It is.
on
It's a
telly.
good night, but it's an annoying night because everything's on at the same time.
Oh, right.
So you need to set your whatever you use to record television and also set up a separate TV as well because there's 3 things on at the same time.
Okay.
The first is The Street, which is on BBC One at 9 o'clock. Now this is just amazing. It's like a cross between Clocking Off, Shameless. Everyone in it is such an amazing actor.
And this week's is brilliant.
This
isn't
week's
it?
is completely brilliant. It's Jim Broadbent, just
Do not miss it.
And Sue Johnston.
Yes.
Who's excellent. I love her.
Let's have a little sneak peek.
You said you'd keep me on.
Can you just
Not full time, I know you can't do that, but part-time. Part-time means you don't lose me.
Well, we've got to lose you. You're 65. Look, if you take your holiday now, well, it'll give us time. Bernie, can you just give me a couple more seconds? No, it'll give me some time to organise your leaving do. You know, I'm not going to let you go. Not somebody like you. Not without a proper send-off.
I'm to go now?
Oh, I'm really glad they're tackling that ageism.
I'm really glad you just said it was Dennis from Coronation Street, because I was thinking...
Yeah, Charlie... I've forgotten his surname, the actor's surname. Anyway, it was Dennis from Coronation Street, the boss who was telling Jim Broadbent to go. OK, I'm glad we've sorted that out.
Yes. Now, on ITV, at the same time, Vital Signs. Now, this is Tamsin Outhwaite. Obviously, the last thing we saw her in Hotel Babylon, she was all blonde and you know, dressed in designer clothes. This is the opposite end of the spectrum. She's a brunette, which some people think are better. Maybe you don't agree.
No,
Ben,
I'm beginning to
guessing
agree.
you're
That's why
with
my
me.
roots are all coming through.
She plays a mum of three who works in a supermarket and trains to be a doctor as a mature student. So here's the moment where the idea pops into her head.
Dr. Lindsay?
Yes?
Why is my sick daughter being cared for by someone who isn't even qualified? I mean, no offence, but you can't be much cop if you're still a student at your age.
Madam, you need to calm down.
I want a real doctor!
That's what he's trying to be, if you'd give him half a chance. Right. Lexi, Mr. Glover here is going to examine you.
Why can't you do it?
Because Mr. Glover is going to.
I really like Tamsin Outhwaite because although it's Tamsin Outhwaite and she gets lots of press and all that sort of stuff, she completely takes on whatever character she's playing and you forget it is Tamsin Outhwaite.
Exactly, exactly. That's definitely worth a watch tonight.
Yeah.
Also at 9 o'clock, of course, like everything tonight, on Channel 4, 10 Days That Made the Queen, which is 10, you know, defining
December the
moments.
11th.
Oh, that'll be it then. How rude for them to interrupt you. They should know better being royalty. So, well, there it is. There's a few pictures from...
Yes.
And what are the 10 days, that led up to her being...
They're just sort of 10 defining moments
Oh, I see.
in her career, is that the right word?
Yeah,
As Queen.
or what
life.
formed our impression of her. I think
Yeah,
it's the
so-
10 defining moments that have made her the queen we all
Yes.
think she is today, isn't it? Shall I sit there?
Yes.
It's lovely to see you.
Thank you.
What are you going to be watching tonight?
I honestly don't know. I just think, basically, all the pubs in the country tonight are going to be empty because everyone's going to be in watching one of those three programmes.
Especially at 9 o'clock.
Yes, exactly.
All right, see you tomorrow.
We're going to get the weather now. Here's Andrew.
And so for the north of England and North Wales, we'll have...
Gmtv weather, sponsored by Nestle Cereals. Whole grain for the whole family every morning.
Hello, good morning. Cloudy old picture across the UK today. It's not really producing a lot of rain, but what we are seeing is some fairly misty, murky old conditions, mainly across the southwest, across parts of the Midlands, and also it's quite misty too, just across areas in Lincolnshire up towards the northeast of England. So bear that in mind if you are heading out on the roads today. There you can see where it is misty this morning, starting off fine, dry and bright, if a little bit frosty in places across the far north of Scotland, and it may not necessarily be have that much sunshine around in the southeast, but I think the sunshine will increase as we go through the morning and also into the Channel Islands as well. For Scotland today, I think we will see increasing cloud and rain moving in from the south and west. Temperatures hovering around 8 or 9 degrees, struggling a bit after a cold start. Sunshine and showers for Northern Ireland, for the Borders region. Not as good a day today for the Isle of Man as we saw yesterday. There's that thin cloud producing patchy, drizzly rain, just meaning it's not very nice really, across Wales, right the way across the Midlands. Maybe some sunshine into Lincolnshire, where we're seeing that mist and murk this morning, and across the far south and east. So that's southern parts of Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex, Kent, that sort of area. And temperatures not doing too badly there either. And then into the southwest, there it is again. That thin cloud producing grey skies, drizzly conditions. If I move out the way, you can see we've got some rain pushing in across the Isles of Scilly and just nudging in across western Cornwall later. Now tomorrow it's a better picture. Should see some sunshine again for the south and east, for the Channel Islands, Northern Ireland, Western Scotland. Elsewhere, grey skies for the northeast of England, eastern Scotland, sunshine and showers for Wales. This is what we've got in store for the weekend. Saturday, not doing too badly for England and Wales. Very good temperatures, getting up to around 17. Later on, we'll see some rain pushing in across Northern Ireland, Western Scotland. Get a bit windy here later. And then we've got this area of rain. You can see it straddling the country. It'll be sinking its way southwards, hopefully breaking up as it goes, so we shouldn't see too